Hey everyone, welcome back to the restaurant show, and we are going to be talking about summer corn. And although we don't have the grill here, we're going to be showing you what to pick and how to look for your corn, and then a great way to top it other than your just regular butter and salt, which I love. But we're going to change it up a little bit and show you an elote, which is a Mexican street corn, and just another few versions of it. So first off, when we are looking for corn, we're going to look for that it's mostly intact. Sometimes you might find that the end is cut off, which is fine, but we just don't want it to dry out. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna open it up just a little bit, and we wanna make sure that everything is, the kernels are whole, not dried out, maybe not eaten up by bugs. You just never know what might have happened in the process of transporting it. So that's what we're gonna look for. And this one is a beautiful bicolor, which that means it's a little bit of yellow, a little bit of white corn that's mixed. And that's actually one of my favorite. We used to call that in the Midwest peaches and cream. So that's a great corn to go with. All right, so that's how we pick out the corn. Now what I've done for grilling. Now there's one way you could just boil it in water. At home we like to do, my mother-in-law taught us how to do it with water, and then we put a little bit of milk and sugar. For some reason, mentally we think that's gonna make it sweeter, but if it's sweet corn, it's gonna be sweet, and this is a perfect time for it right now. So, but for grilling, what we're gonna do is I have actually taken some corn already here, and I've been soaking it in a little bit of water because since we are putting it on the grill, we want that outside of the corn to be able to steam it. So we're gonna let that soak. But what I've done though, before you let it soak, you're gonna want to pull this down, and you're gonna wanna husk the corn. And now you can actually do this at the grocery store if you don't want the mess, because it does get messy, and you want to take out all this silk. This is called the silk of the corn. And what I'm doing is I'm just bringing it down just halfway, because then you'll be able to take out all of this corn husk right here. And that is the corn silk, because it's not edible. You don't want to have that in with your corn. Get stuck in your teeth, you know. And we're going to just go ahead and peel that off. And then we're going to gently then put back the outer leaves of that corn husk. There you go. Perfect, right? So that way it is nice, and it envelops that corn kernels in there, and as we soak it in the water, that's gonna steam and it's gonna be inside. Now, for your grill, what you're gonna wanna do, you're gonna wanna leave it again at 350. Great, I always like to cook at 350 on an open face grill. Now with that grill, you're gonna start out right at the beginning. You're gonna go ahead and put it directly on the heat. That's gonna be the direct heat source. We're gonna get a little bit of that nice char on the outside. Keep an eye on it though, because if you turn your back on it, it's definitely it could burn up pretty quickly on you. Then what you're gonna do is after about, I'd say 8 to 10 minutes, once you've turned it a few times, you're gonna move it to the outside source of the grill for the indirect heat, and that's gonna slowly cook it, and it's gonna get that steam going. Now, once you've moved it over to your indirect heat, you can start cooking the meats, whether it's burgers, hamburgers, hot dogs, steaks, pork chops. You can then start to cook your regular meats on that direct heat side. All right, so while those are cooking, you're gonna wanna make your toppings for it. Now, elote is a Mexican street corn, and what they use is they take mayonnaise, and then they also take a little bit of oregano. They mix that in, and I've already put a garlic salt in there, and I'm also gonna put some parsley. All right, and we're gonna do a quick mix on that. Now, one thing that I've done also here is I've actually made a little bit extra. You're never gonna really use this much, but what you can do is you can actually use like the leftover mayo. It's a great spread for some sandwiches if you'd like to use it for that, just to really kick up maybe a sandwich and have an oregano mayo. It's fantastic. And now I've already grilled up some corn here. As you can see, we've got some nice char marks, and we're gonna fold this back here, all right? As you can see, and it's delicious. All right. And we're gonna slather just a little bit on there. It's gonna go all around it. And this is called elote. We're gonna put it all around it. And then we're gonna take just about maybe half a tablespoon there. Put that all around. And then we're gonna sprinkle it with Parmesan cheese. It's absolutely delicious. Actually, this is a big thing that you're gonna see on a lot of restaurant menus. Even the chains are starting to do this. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful presentation. All right, the second one we're gonna do is It's really easy, and again, I took mayo, put a little bit of garlic salt in there. I'm gonna put a little bit of parsley, and then I'm also gonna go ahead and tear up cilantro, and I'm just gonna do a really rough tear on it, keeping out the stems. Mix that in there. And now this is a butter that we're doing, just straight. I used, you could use a margarine if you'd like, but I always like to use a real butter, and I prefer on this one that we used a salted butter. But if you have unsalted at home, that's fine too. I know a lot of people cook with the unsalted, and we're just gonna give this a really nice mix. And again, I used butter that has already been sitting out, so it's room temperature. It makes it a lot easier to mix. And again, maybe, especially if you don't want to use mayonnaise, even though that's the traditional way to make the elote. All right, and we are gonna take this one that I've already cooked up, again, peeling back. Look at that. That is just some great color, great way to present it. We're gonna spread that butter on there. Now these are a little bit cooler. Obviously, when you take them off the grill, they're gonna be warm, so make sure you either have gloves on or just really tough hands, but these are delicious. All right, and I'm gonna put another sprinkle of some parsley just for some color. Another thing you might wanna do is also maybe some paprika or cayenne pepper if you're really feeling like you want something a little spicy. And we're gonna do just a little drizzle of the Parmesan cheese. Or if you're in the Mexican store, you can also pick up some cojita. That's a great way to do it. And there you go. We've got some beautiful Mexican street corn. You guys try that out. When you're grilling, just a little bit, change up on the butter that you're putting on there, and even just a little Parmesan cheese, and you've got yourself a great summer treat. Stay tuned, we've got a lot more ahead.